Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video of World of Warships, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the upcoming top 5 Black Friday ships that you should look out for because they will be cheaper and they were removed previously and you cannot get them right now, and they will obviously coming and you might grab one of them. That is totally up to you. I will try to explain what are these ships if you don't know, and if you want to know some of the stats and what the capabilities of that particular ship is, this video will help you to know the information about these Black Friday ships that right now unavailable to purchase either from the armory and from even the premium shop. So we will take a look at that. And if you do find this video useful and interesting, be sure to hit a like, subscribe, because I make a lot of World of Warship videos, including guides, gameplay, and even something that I would like to share, like the news, etc. So at number 5, the Puerto Rico, which by the way was available in the 2 dockyard events. The first in 2020, which was actually a PR disaster. I do not want to talk about it. It's a long story, but Wargaming has done a pretty bad job in introducing the dockyard at the start. But anyways, then we come with another dockyard event where they have sold the Puerto Rico, and now we are going to get this once again in this 2025 Black Friday event. By the way, to access the Puerto Rico, you have to buy a special bundle which contains not only the Puerto Rico itself but also 3 other ships like the Rhode Island B, which is also right now unavailable, along with the Nustrishimi and Carl 14 Johan B. So you have to spend either real money or doubloons. That is the only way to get Puerto Rico. So you have to spend quite a lot of money. You have to get 3 other ships to get the Puerto Rico B itself. Now let's talk about the Puerto Rico as well. Honestly, if I talk about the Puerto Rico, it's basically an Alaska, but having, I would say, worse overall stats, because Puerto Rico does have battleship dispersion, even though it's a cruiser, having 12 guns that makes you feel like it's a better counterpart compared to Alaska. It's kind of sister at tier 9. It does have 12 guns. The DPM might look slightly better and all that stuff, but that battleship dispersion, they have compensated it with, I would say, the 2.2 Sigma, which I would say can work, but overall compared to the Alaska performance in terms of dispersion, the Puerto Rico definitely suffers. You do have 12 guns. Your survivability also is better, but you don't get like really interesting armor scheme. You have the 30mm, right? Alaska, obviously at tier 9, if I can show you, is also relatively tanky. As you can see, you do have 27mm bow. In the case of Puerto Rico, that's the same, no different. Maybe you might get this 30mm side armor, which does help bouncing 406mm guns. But Alaska at tier 9 will overall do better because the matchmaking will be slightly better. Obviously, we are still going to get, affected by the presence of super ships. That will make life hard, but Puerto Rico does not have that some sort of armor scheme that's just gonna improve so much over the Alaska. Yes, you do have the HP, but the gun performance is something that I'm not a big fan. To be honest, Puerto Rico is a interesting cruiser, but that dispersion, it can troll you because again, battleship dispersion problem. Okay, and then even the concealment is slightly worse than the Alaska. If I build it for concealment, you have 13km versus Alaska's 12.2. Even though you do have the radar, you have basically all the tools like you get on Alaska. So if you want to get a 12 gun platform, Alaska guns but worse dispersion overall, well, you can now see why Puerto Rico isn't that popular, and some players like me do not like it. Even though it's not a bad cruiser at all, it can work. But well, I would rate it at number 5 just because of this, that it does not give anything special compared to Alaska. I just felt that way. You can always let me know in the comment what do you think about the Puerto Rico. Would you buy this ship? Well, you can always let me know in the comment. So at number 5, Puerto Rico is there. Now at number 4, I like Alaska better than Puerto Rico, but there are still quite a lot of ships at number 3 to 1 which I would still gonna rate them better than Alaska. Again, that's my personal opinion, but right now this is unavailable. You cannot get it in any way or form, except that you will possibly be able to spend some money or doubloons to get this in the Black Friday event. And well, It's basically having battlecruiser dispersion with 2.05 Sigma, basically Puerto Rico guns, but at tier 9, which means that you will do pretty insane against tier 7s, which you cannot do in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico can get the matchmaking like tier 8 ones, but Alaska will get better matchmaking if you are top tier. But if you are bottom tier, well, you're also going to be suffering more slightly than Puerto Rico, but not a lot, because the guns will perform the same at tier 9 compared to the tier 10. So that's the reason why Puerto Rico, it's not something that I like. On the other hand, what I do like is that a good concealment. You have all the tools, like the Hydro. You can always use defensive fire, but I do not like defensive fire whatsoever. Hydro and the heals. Basically everything that you get on Puerto Rico at tier 10, you get at tier 9 with slightly less HP and better dispersion performance, which makes Alaska very sort of superior tier to tier compared to Puerto Rico. Now, you can argue that Puerto Rico has better torpedo protection. Yes, Alaska has worse, like really worse. 13% protection is definitely feels bad considering it's a heavy cruiser, but because of the guns, reliability that you find at tier 9, I like Alaska more. And funny enough, Puerto Rico somehow managed to have worse range, which I do not understand why. They could have easily given 20-kilometer range on the Puerto Rico guns, but well, for some reason it has worse range than Alaska. And these are the reasons. Better dispersion overall, and gun performance pretty much similar at lower tier. All the things that you get on Puerto Rico, but you get better in Alaska, okay? Even the armor scheme will be a lot much more better once you are mid-tier or top tier. So Alaska will do really well tier to tier, and Puerto Rico isn't. So if you want to get this ship, well, I would really prefer Alaska over Puerto Rico. Now you can always let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? And you can obviously get it from the armory. You have to spend real money, okay, for getting this ship. This is something that you have to know, that it's not going to be available like the Puerto Rico, that you have to buy 3 more ships to get the Puerto Rico itself. You can buy Alaska separately, but still, you have to spend money, real money, to get this ship. Or you can spend money on Black Friday premium containers. Well, then it's kind of like you are gambling, betting that you might get the Alaska on your first container or maybe on the 100th container, because there will be more ships and you will get them first maybe compared to Alaska. So yeah, so it's if you are really looking to get the Alaska, then you just buy it directly, but otherwise you can get it from those containers. But then those other ships might come first and then the Alaska will come back. So it's at number 4. I feel it's very strong cruiser, better than Puerto Rico for sure. All right, at number 3, I love Massachusetts. It's been a long time since they have released this ship, and unfortunately they have removed the ship. But in my personal opinion, Massachusetts at tier 8 is still a beast of a ship. Amazing battleship. Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, by the way, it's also going to be available in a dedicated, I would say, bundle where you can only have to spend money to get this ship directly. Okay? Or you can spend, again, just like with the Alaska, you have to spend real money, or you spend money in Black Friday premium containers. But again, that's the problem. You might get some other lower tiers or maybe some other ship, and the Massachusetts does not come in directly. So it will come in, but you might have to really wait for that RNG to come and hit you and help you to get the Massa. So I would say a Massachusetts, it's an amazing battleship, really good guns, 406 overmatch all the cruisers at tier 8. So you will be doing really fine, and especially because it's tier 8, the matchmaking is a lot more generous. Like what I have seen, yes, you can actually fight against tier 10s and all that stuff, you can say, but at least you won't be finding super ships, and that's a relief. Also, the relief is that you have 1.7 Sigma with these guns, which for a secondary brawler, it's a secondary brawler that has amazing armor protection. Like again, this is, I think, South Dakota class battleship, so they have given a very good torpedo protection. Sorry if I might get wrong in this class, South Dakota, you can always let me know, but I do believe that this is in fact the South Dakota class. Yeah, it is indeed. So really good torpedo protection, really good guns, considering that it's a secondary brawler, and well, you do have all the things that I love about the Massa. Healing potential, which a lot of battleships nowadays getting kind of cracked up sort of things going for it. Like for example, if you look at the Sibir, you get the toggle button, you just press the heal and it just fulfill all the healing potential that you get in a single button. Like, that's the saber really is. Then we have the Valparaiso with ridiculous F key that can just come up with a massive amount of healing potential. But the Massachusetts is not like that, and it still performs well because, well, you do have a lot of heals. And you do also have that really good cooldown time that the Massachusetts, Georgia, and Ohio known for. And that's why I really love it. It's very tanky, armor profile is really good. Everything about the Massachusetts, I just love it. Your secondaries will ham at least against tier 7s. If you use IFHE, you actually will smash them with the full pen, and you have amazing dispersion on the secondaries if you fully build it for the secondaries itself. So, for example, if you have any mindset of just using IFHE, you can actually use that, even though it's not super good against tier 8 to tier 10s. But once you are having tier 7s and tier 6, you will suddenly use the secondary improved pen, which can go, I think, up to 26mm in this case. You will be able to penetrate tier 7 battleships, most tier 7 battleships, because they don't have 32mm plating. That's the big advantage, by the way. That secondaries will do so much damage. Yes, your fires will definitely gonna go less, but the penetration number increase. Why not? I mean, if you are top tier, sure, but if you are not, then the IFEG does not make sense. But it's a very good platform. I just love messages, and also, by the way, it has really good anti-defense numbers. I can't say about the Alaska and Puerto Rico. Yeah, they're doing fine, right? But for some reason, if you really want to have, limitation that CVs will take at least more planes shut down, they actually feel when they're dropping you, right? They lose more planes. Well, Massachusetts actually will feel that way a bit. At least compared to Japanese battleships, at least compared to the German ships. The American anti-air will be, I would say, slightly superior. That's what I would say. You will take damage from CVs. You can't avoid that, but at least it's still going to be doing good when pushing. And your heals will work well. And that's why, at number 3, I love the ship. It's an amazing battleship, and I think you should really look forward to that if you are looking to get this ship. Because it's definitely going to be good in ranked battles, I can tell you that. It's one of the best battleships in ranked battles. And even if you play it in randoms, it will do wonders. So, at number 3, Massachusetts is the king. For me, that's for sure. Okay, so at number 2, I will rate the Smolensk B, which, first of all, by the way, coming in the form of auction. So it's entirely different way that you can get this ship. So you have to spend the doubloons like you might find the Hildebrand. We have the recent auction event in the form of Hildebrand, where you have to spend 43,000 something doubloons as the minimum bid to get that ship. So you will be getting the Smolensk B version only through the auctions. So that is something that you should know. And honestly, Smolensk got released a long time ago, and when it got released, it used to be the most toxic cruiser in this entire game. Honestly, if the Smolensk smoke up, okay, and then with this absurd HEDPM that it still is very relevant. It used to have, by the way, 19km range if you build it for range, and you do have the captain skills going for it, which can increase the range to 19km. They have done the changes with the IFHE. It used to have 30mm armor, but believe it or not, this used to be insanely broken ship. Like a cruiser that having heavy cruiser armor, light cruiser having heavy cruiser armor. This is 30mm plating before IFHE changes. I mean, it's a history going on with the Smolensk, and I can talk about it for days, but it's, and even after the nerfs, the range nerf, armor is definitely nerfed hard. Now you have 16mm. You don't have like super heals like the Minotaur, but you have the smoke with this itchy power, with this 10% fire chance, shooting 16 shells on a destroyer dispersion. You will absolutely smoke the crap out of any battleship that pushes you, even in 2025. And I'm telling you, if you have a good destroyer division mate, you absolute shred DDs even today. Like it's ridiculously powerful. Still, it's just that you have to play carefully. Yes, and even its armor is insane. Its armor is very thin in terms of citadel protection, which actually helps you at tier 10 because most battleships have big guns, and they basically straight overpen through this armor. 70mm is just very trollish at tier 10. You can say, I'm funny enough, Omaha at tier 5, which is the American cruiser, which does have a huge citadel, by the way. Well, that takes a lot of citadels because the battleship does not have like crazy pen that you will overpen, but in the case of tier 10, you will certainly gonna get overpens on Smolensk, which is the most frustrating thing a battleship have when facing the ship. And then you can smoke up. And your firing range, smoke firing penalty is just completely ridiculous, right? Like smoke firing penalty is like, look at this, 5.9. So you can just smash battleships with fires and kill them with full pen onto their superstructures. Although with the carriers like the Malta and obviously the entire numbers that are just okay, to be honest, the entire numbers are fine. They are not like super amazing tier to tier. I mean, you can build it with defensive fire, but then you lose the hydro, which is like the biggest asset for Smolensk to dodge the tops. And that's also what makes Smolensk pretty good against TDs, that you can actually fight them and not eat torpedoes, even though you don't have any torpedo protection whatsoever. But even then, it's disgusting. After some sort of balance that somehow manages to happen with the help of even more broken ships. Okay, we have the Valparaiso, we have the Sibir. Now, I'm not going to say Sibir is broken, but it does have some unique aspects. And some of the other ships that now started to neuter Smolensk, like those ships are strong enough to make Smolensk look like balanced, or at least I would say insanely strong but not broken. That's, I would say, the better version of saying this. That it's used to be brokenly overpowered, now it's very, very strong. And I would still say, under the good hands, a good Smolensk player will just eat you alive if you're pushing in a wrong way or form. And it still holds up so well. I mean, if you have this ship, it's just crazy fire starter, man. Holy shit, it's so brutal. 10% fire chance on these 16 guns is no joke. And it just does amazingly well, without a doubt. So at number 2, I will definitely gonna rate those, at least compared to those ships that I have mentioned above. I will rate Smolensk more. At number 2, obviously. Alright, so at number 1, I would say, and I think everyone should really expecting this. Hopefully, they should be. And the Rhode Island, by the way, also coming in the form of the special bundle, where the Puerto Rico, along with Carl 14 Johan and Mr. Shimi B will be. The Rhode Island will be on that bundle, and you can access the Rhode Island like that. And also, you know, can get the Rhode Island from the Black Friday premium containers as well. So unlike the Puerto Rico B, which only available in this special bundle, the Rhode Island be at least in these Black Friday container 2025. So Rhode Island, one of the best battleships that Wargaming has released. It is very, very powerful in so many situations that it's not even funny. And if you really compare it with Puerto Rico, it just blows Puerto Rico out of the water. Now, first of all, if you look at the armor scheme, this is where it shines so much. You have now 38mm plating, but also on the sides that you get 38mm. So that is something that Puerto Rico wishes that it gets, but it doesn't. You have 57mm above, which again, it kind of makes it like a battle cruiser. Rhode Island, in fact, is a battle cruiser with having slightly worse radar, but I will take the radar on a battleship's type of hull. You still have a 9km radar and a speed boost and having 5 heals with Massachusetts-like action time. So 40 seconds of action time, right? 40 seconds of cooldown time. So that is the part of the Rhode Island that makes it absurdly strong. And then you have amazingly good reload time, improved pen angles on AP, so Puerto Rico does have that. It does have slightly worse. The Rhode Island does not come up with like insane penetration angles, otherwise it would actually going to get stupidly broken. You can just pen it on any angle, and thank goodness they haven't done that, but it still have improved pen angles and a really good HE performance. 31% fire chance with battle cruiser dispersion, and I think it does have 1.6 or 1.7 sigma on 12 of these guns, 356mm although, but you can rival basically almost all the cruisers in the game. And why would you play cruisers if you have Rhode Island? Honestly, this is a big question, and I can simply give you a big answer. Obviously, you should play Rhode Island. Like it's such a good sort of heavy cruiser in a battleship sort of hull. It is so good, range is so good, entire defense is actually decent. Compared to many cruisers, like for example the Hindenburg, the Henry, you can call many other cruisers, I would still gonna rate Rhode Island, entire defense to be pretty decent. And your speed goes up to 40 knots, so you're basically stealing the, I would say, identity of the Henry IV, the, playstyle. You can just speed juke battleships with a very good speed. because you do have the speed boost. So, you know, you have the best of everything. Good penetration, HE pen is so good, even though it's not like the Hindenburg level of improved pen. But again, you do not need that much penetration number, right? You already have big caliber guns, so you just penetrate, do damage, set fires. It's just so good in that. And then you just blast cruisers. It's one of the most powerful battleships in the game, and also, funny enough, you have secondaries, improved secondaries. If you build it for secondaries, you will get insane dispersion on them if you want to. So it's going to be doing good against destroyers if you pop up a radar, and the radar is such a good defense if you're pushing. And you can push, and you can kite, you can do everything what you want. The Rhode Island has so much flexibility going for it that, in my opinion, it's better than all the other ships that I have talked about. So, at number 1, Rhode Island. What do you think about these ships? You can always let me know in the comment. What do you think that, which ship is the better? Would you prefer Rhode Island over the Smolensk? Would you prefer Smolensk over the Rhode Island? Would you prefer Puerto Rico for some reason? Or are you a collector or something that you want to share? You can let me know in the comment. I will definitely gonna read those and can also answer you back if you need any answers. Thank you guys for watching. I just want to share you some information regarding these ships, and these ships are unavailable right now. You can get them in this upcoming Black Friday event. So thank you guys for watching. Take care and peace out.